Sean here with BaseMint Comics, and it is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, night before New Comic Book Day, and I am going to chat about the books that I really enjoyed from last week. Super topical, as per usual. Pardon my hat hair, and we were just, it's late. The area that I bike to go to my comic book shop that we live by is like a bunch of nature trails, but at this time of year, it's like 9 miles of Christmas lights. And on the first night of that, once like the season kind of kicks off, the first night they open up to bikes and only bikes, so you can kind of bike through it. You can bike on the road as opposed to the trails, see all the lights. There's music and refreshments and bonfires and people hanging out, and so Hank and I do it every year. I mean, I did it before he was born every year by myself, and then started, dragging him along like I do. And this year, Ashley, my wife, his mother, obviously, went with us, and a good time was had by all. She totally fell one time. I don't know. She was like, we were going through this like tunnel thing with lights, and she got distracted by Henry's like oohing and eyeing, and she totally ran into the thing, and she's fine. But it's kind of funny. Anyways, so books from last week. The first book that I'm going to talk about real quick is 1776, written by J. Michael Straczynski. It was as much fun time travel stuff. Morgan Le Fay doesn't want the United States to be formed. And it's great. And if my profession was different and I was a school teacher, I would definitely leave this in a classroom for some kid that doesn't normally like reading history books to stumble upon, because it is chock full of history, while also, Hulk smashing. The only negative that I will give this is part of the reason why I was like, sure, I'll pick that up, beyond being a Straczynski fan, and this just seeming like something I might be interested in. You can see Cyclops there on the cover, and I was like, oh, it's 90s blue and gold era Cyclops. He does not appear in the issue at all. I got shim-shammed. What are you gonna do? A book that I was sort of like, yeah, I was into it, but not super into it because of a reveal, is Spider-Man 94. I talked about how I was very excited for this book when it was announced. Spider-Man continuing the animated series storyline, that would be great. But then they dropped the Moreland bomb on me, and not a character that I really dug in the regular 616 continuity. However, proving once again what a fantastic Spider-Man writer and writer in general J.M. DeMatteis is, he was able to pull out a wonderful twist on the Moreland origin, that felt very like Saturday morning cartoon friendly while still being cool, and managed to tie Ezekiel into it to kind of make them one character. And it was really good. Like, if you have at all been on the fence about this series and not picking it up, issue number 3 was what sold it for me, where I'm like, okay, I sort of wish they would continue on with that series. Anyways, so up next, no surprise, is Spider-Man Torn. I accidentally added this to my pull list because early solicits, I thought this Torn was, I explained this in the last video, where like I thought it was a one-shot, like in reference to Pete in the normal 616 universe being in 2 places, because they hadn't quite revealed how that was going to work yet. And much to my surprise, this was a fantastic Between the Raindrops, written by Straczynski. Takes place in, my guess is, the 60s. Pete's in college, like Gwen's in here. It's just been a wonderful, like, it's action-packed, has tons of Spidey stuff, tons of the villain stuff, but also tons of like character moments. Like there's just a lot for the $3.99 price tag. You are actually getting quite a bit. The art's great, writing's great. It's just a really solid Spider-Man story. So if you're like, Amazing's really good right now, but if you're like, I don't want to read Amazing, but you'd like to read a Spider-Man story, 2 issues of Spider-Man Torn, go for it. So obviously, it's no surprise to anyone who has watched any of the new Comic Book Day videos as I've been going along in these, that my #1 pick of last week was Fantastic Four, number 731. Ryan North is killing it on this title. I imagine, I don't know, because I don't really pay attention to this type of thing, and I don't personally know anyone else who is reading this title. My group of pals that used to go to the old comic book shop that I went to before it closed, we don't get together as much anymore. I saw them recently because we went to go see a film screening of 80s classic Just One of the Guys, and it was fantastic. But we don't like get together every Wednesday. You know, I'm like, my Wednesday crew is sort of gone the way of the buffalo. I still talk to everyone in the group, but we do not all go to the same shop anymore. Life has gotten in the way. But even then, I don't know if any of them would have been reading Fantastic Four. So I have no idea if this era of the Fantastic Four is driving any Fantastic Four fans crazy, and any Fantastic Four groups that I might be a part of there's like one Fantastic Four group that I'm a part of on the social medias, and I think that I'm probably going to bow out of that group because it is mostly like 3 dudes complaining about the movie, which the movie was fantastic. So I don't understand those guys' problem. But nobody's really talking comics, and that's what I'm there for. Your opinion of a movie does not matter to me whatsoever. I don't really care if someone enjoys or does not enjoy a comic book, but if somebody does enjoy something, I like to hear people talk about things that they love. Do I like to hear things grouse about things that they don't like? Sometimes, but not as much as I like someone who is fired up about something that they dig. So, this has been like single issue driven, like kind of like you could pick up this issue, not know anything else that's going on in the Fantastic Four, and it's just a solid 32 pages of like fun like this is the fellas in the Fantastic Four go to a negative zone fishing trip, and it's just the gals, just Alicia and Sue, and Black Cat is framed for murder, and Sue reluctantly has to help her out, and it is all wrapped up in one issue, and it is great fun. I can't recommend this title enough. Like, it's just fun comics. And who doesn't love fun comics? So normally that would have been the point where there would have been a trail ride of me and the little guy making our way up to the shop to pick up our new books. But instead, you got a shot of a chair, and you're like, that's different. So over Sunday, we got the call, which we were expecting, that Ashley's, my wife's grandmother had passed away. And it has been not great, as you can imagine. She was a wonderful lady, and I am blessed to have had her in my life for the 14 years that I have. I lost my folks and my all 4 of my grandparents in my late teens. And so a few years later is when I met my wife, Ashley. And we were friends for 8 years before we started dating. And that first Christmas, I had not, it had been 13 years, something like that, since I'd gotten a Christmas. The very last Christmas present I got from my mom was the single issues of the Dark Phoenix saga. I've talked about it in another issue, and I'll probably break it down even more in a video closer to Christmas. And I've been, years and years, I'd kind of bounced around friends and whatnot, or just done Christmas solo for years. I have a lot of siblings, but we sort of all kind of agreed early on, after all of the loss, to just sort of find our own avenues on the holidays and kind of do our own thing. So, needless to say, I was very, Ashley, we often joke about this, where she feels incredibly sad that I don't, that my mom's not around, and et cetera, et cetera. But there's a little bit of her that's like, and it's okay, like, it's been years and years and years, like, kind of, oh, I didn't have to change any of my family traditions because you're just kind of you. So that first Christmas, I would normally like go to church or whatever on Christmas Eve. But her family got together on Christmas Eve. And so I was just happy to, I'm a big Christmas guy. And like, I was just happy to be somewhere, kind of like a wallflower, just like, oh, look at this happy family. This is fun. It's been a while. And lo and behold, her grandparents, who have been absolutely wonderful to me, for all the years that I've had them in my life, and they have been wonderful great grandparents to Henry, and I am thankful that I'm thankful that we still have her grandfather, but I am thankful for the time period that we had with her grandmother. But that first year, I was not expecting this, but they slipped me this card. It says "Merry Christmas, Sean," and in it was a gift certificate to my comic shop at the time. And I was like, I basically had to do everything in my power to not like burst into tears right then and there, because it had been a hell of a long time since anyone had given me a Christmas present, let alone like someone kind of, oh, we're going to go up to your comic book shop and deal with those weirdos in order to get you this. It was very thoughtful. So I have kept this card in what I purchased with it, which this was 2013. It was the height of the original 5 coming back in time, and they had just released this hardcover X-Men Battle of the Atom. And I have actually gotten it signed by the inker Wade Von Drawbadger, I think is how you say it. And I got Frank Cho signed it for me, because it just like I have the single issues, but like I kind of just wanted this thing that I could hold where I was like, this was it, and that was it, and I just thought it was the sweetest thing ever. And so when we got the call, obviously there's lots of family stuff done, and I had to write out something that I'm going to say on at the funeral, but in the downtime, I was going to read this and think about her. And the reason I did that video of the chair is because that chair is where I sit and read all my comics, and that chair was given to me by Ashley's grandparents. It sat in their house, and it's like the perfect comic book reading chair, because like the armrests are at a perfect height, and keeps my posture up, and it's tiny. I didn't want some crazy, like I had a Poppy San chair for the longest time, and I would just pass out in that thing. It's so cozy, and this thing's just like, it's a good. The house we used to be in, that was next to a window, and there was a good cross breeze. It was great. I could look out it. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful chair. And so I'm happy that I have that in here. And she's she makes wonderful quilts. And like we have quilts all over the house that she's made, and everyone loves her quilts. One of my sisters even like saw one of her quilts at it's like a wedding shower or a baby shower. It might have been a gift for our wedding shower, might have been a gift for the baby shower. But my sister saw it and was like, that's a great quilt. It's fantastic. And so my sister was like, if I buy the materials, will you? And sure enough, she did. But she made me a quilt, and I love it. I've got it right here. She went out and specifically got gold and blue, yellow and blue for the X-Men. And this thing is awesome. It's huge. I can wrap myself in it like 3 or 4 times, and it's like I'm getting one ginormous hug from her. So, yeah. Look at this great quilt. So anyways, all of this is to say that I was very blessed for the years and the care and the time that I had with her. And I will cherish this hardcover, that chair, and this quilt, and the fact that she took the time to care about my interest. Anyways, so Henry and I tomorrow are probably going to make our way up to the store to pick up my books, but it's gonna be a busy couple days. So my guess is that I probably won't get to the new comic books until this weekend. But I felt like instead of just not putting out a video, I don't know, maybe I should have not put out a video. But the thought was, that I wanted to say something about last week's books and explain why I wasn't going to be there. And who knows? Maybe I'll talk about X-Men Battle of the Atom. So, that is to say, no new comics books for me on Wednesday. I'll be back in a couple days to discuss the new books when I eventually get them, and then there will be a Cornerbox Classics after that, and things will be back to normal. Things won't be back to normal. It's a new normal now, and it's weird. It is a bum out, and but that's what it is. So I hope you enjoy your new comic books. And don't spoil anything for me, because it's going to be a couple days. And I will see you in the next one. All right. Thanks. Bye.